Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Blowtorch. And yes, these are available at Target. That's right, all you people who whined and cried and said that, oh, G.I. Joe line is dead, Target's not going to carry them. Well, guess what? They're there. They're going to be in the reset. The reason why all you people were wrong, and I'm going to explain this to you very quickly, is because they still have exclusives for Target coming out. So don't worry, the line's not dead. You're going to see these. Maybe not every Target will get them, but they're going to show up there if you go and you look and you're really into this. If not, go to Amazon, go to BBTS, go to Hasbro Pulse, go to Entertainment Earth, go to Hella Dope Toys and use my code APWT and you'll get 10% off your entire order. But anyway, you really want to look at this figure. We're going to take a look at him. Over there you can see our red and yellow O-ring Blowtorch. And we're going to compare them and see how close they got them, if that's even what you wanted. So anyway, looking at the packaging here, we got a wonderful looking figure. I like the darker tones. I think it actually works better because let's be honest, this guy is also a sniper's dream as he's walking through, you know what, just being destroyed. Anyway, his Blowtorch, he's got some flame effects in here, his helmet, his mask. On the side here, you're going to see it is 154. Some awesome artwork with the flames right there. There's his file card. I don't know anything about the file card. There's a QR code that leads you straight to hell. That's right. And on the back, we got some awesome toy photography with a bridge layer in the back. Now, originally we thought the bridge layer, well, they like to throw things in there. I didn't think anything about it, but on some of the upcoming releases, well, on one of the upcoming releases, they showed the bridge layer in the back again, and the things that we're starting to see that we never noticed before, like the Rattler being there, a polar bear, they're actually showing us what's probably to come. Doesn't mean that it will, but I am saying that there is a company, Ramen Toys, is already making a slight version of the bridge layer, showing that it's not too big. I don't know. I'm not sure if I need a bridge layer. It was a wonderful O-ring toy, but let's be honest, it'd be very, very large in classified scale. But anyway, you watched me long enough and you're like, hey, let's get to this stupid figure. We're going to get to the figure, but before you do, if you like what I'm saying, you like what I'm giving you when I give you these G.I. Joe Classified, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classified review. All right, so we got him out of his plastic prison, and I always like to start off with his accessories first. So let's talk about what we've already seen. So here we have the hose. This has come with Dr. Mindbender. It's come with Barbecue. I think it's come with a couple others. It is a nice looking hose. Okay, it's going to plug in right there, right there. You can see a little bit of detail, and it is very pliable. You can do all kinds of things with it if you want to. You can even put it into a little knot if that's what you so choose to, but it does move around, so I don't think it's going to be any problem. The same with everyone else that's been using that. So, all right, here we have some flame effects. Now, first off, there's one on the flamethrower. This pops off, and we can take a look at it. Now, these all came with the Dreadnought torch. So, looking at the design, really nice. It's like this translucent yellow. It's just going to plug directly into it, and this is a bigger port than your regular blast effect. So you don't have to worry about swapping it or even trying to. It's going to be completely different. So I think that looks pretty good there. You have a little bit longer flame here. Again, two different translucents. You get this big red here, and then you get this orange underneath it. Design is nice. Okay, so you can see it, so it kind of looks like it's kind of blowing up. And then this one here I actually really like. Okay, so you have this big flame coming through here. It's the longer one, really dark on the top, more orange on the bottom. And what's actually really cool about the flames, I guess it depends on how you look at it. All right, I guess you could look at it like this where the flames are going up, but I always kind of looked at it where it's like this, and all the liquid that's dropping, all the flammable fuel, it's dropping and causing flames to drop down towards the bottom. Because if I remember correctly, that's normally how we used to see this in, you know, videos and stuff like that when going back to the Vietnam era, which is basically where I think you saw this. All right, so we have this pistol here. Now, I don't know, I feel like this is a new pistol. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I've stopped trying to remember everything. All right, that looks more like a 45. You got a nice little grip here. You got your little trigger here, trigger guard. There's your slide, a little bit of detail. No port for blast effects, which is a little odd. Okay, here's where your shell is going to eject from. Again, nice looking, and it is green to go with the rest of the aesthetic here. Here we have his flamethrower. All right, now this is completely retooled. I'm glad they didn't use torches. So they're doing something different. We're gonna plug it in right there. Now right down here, this is what makes you wonder, what is this? I'm assuming this is actually this is the canister that's actually going to ignite the liquid that is shooting through, which is gonna be coming out right up here. All right, so it's got a handle so you can walk around with it. You got a little stock. It does look like it's supposed to be collapsible. Grip, trigger. Here you have all the hoses running all the way over to here. All right, and once again, nice little paint on both sides. This is here, I'm assuming, to protect him just a little bit. But the detail that they put into this is really nice, okay? Because this is just like a regular torch. This is what's going to ignite it, or a welding tool there. You can see right through here. Now looking at it, it looks like I'm trying to think if they tried to modify one of their guns. Now they've done this in the past with the Real American Hero. Snow Job's gun was molded and modified into the grappling hook for Alpine, and also for Ripper's gun. So they've done that numerous times. All right, and then as you saw, this thing kind of just plugs right on here. So if he's walking around, there's always going to be a little flame going. Here you have maybe a little burst. All right, and then it plugs in nicely, and it is nice and hard, so you don't have to worry about it becoming soft and just kind of starting to collapse over. Now, the barrel here, who knows? And then you have this very long one, and like I said, for me, I always made it, at least for torch and stuff, where it's just kind of dripping down, so it's going to ignite everything that's below it. All right. Here's his backpack, which I believe we're actually going to see with the firefighter. This is not the same backpack that comes with Blowtorch, or with barbecue, as mine's broken. Got one on the way, to be honest. So you got your yellow paint right there. It looks like there's a little overrun. Is that? Yeah, it looks like there's a little overrun on the side. I'm sure someone will complain about it. Not a huge deal, and I could see why there was an issue. 3 different canisters. You have your dial to turn it on and turn it off, which is probably really good. Here's where your hose is going to connect. You got your lip here that's going to just hold the whole thing. And then right up here, I'm going to assume we can plug. Oh, maybe not. It looks like this should go right there to plug onto it. But it doesn't look like it's wide enough. So I'm trying to figure out why that lip is there. What is supposed to connect to it? All right. Anyway, we're going to take a look at that in a bit. Here we have his helmet and his mask. So first off, looking at his mask, it does have the clear visor, so you'll be able to see his eyes through it. You got your yellow mask. Here's your hose. It is pliable, so it should move around enough. Matter of fact, this is a secondary piece, so you don't have to worry about it breaking off after a while. Okay, but it's going to protect his face, obviously. I'm going to assume it's all flame retardant. This is just going to slip right around. I'm interested to see how easily it fits. As for his helmet, here's where he'd be able to put on his night vision if needed. It looks like he has either 2 flashlights. I think those are flashlights. At first I thought they were going to be cameras, but it looks like those might be flashlights. I don't know why he needs flashlights. He has a big flamethrower that's lighting everything up. But maybe they are cameras, but looking at these, I'd say they're actual flashlights. Here you have his earpieces, which would be there to dampen the sound, but also have communications inside of it. And again, detail on it looks really nice. No issues with the paint. I think it's actually pretty good. Now, as for our actual Blowtorch, and looking at that head sculpt, I haven't popped off that head, but I think it looks pretty much like what Blowtorch looked like. So quickly, nice parted hair. Really looks kind of like a very clean cut guy. His hair, it looks decent. You can see the different strands that are supposed to be in it, so it has texture. There's his eyebrows and his eyes. Everything is looking straight. Their prints are absolutely wonderful lately. All right, a little bit of paint on the lips just to give you a feel. Our lips are not the exact same color as the rest of our skin, but all in all, that's a decent head sculpt for what he's supposed to look like. Here we got a big collar that's going to protect his neck. You can actually see the zipper right there. So I'm assuming that's supposed to go right up. Maybe it's not a zipper. It'd have to be some sort of flame retardant, but actually it looks like, to me it looks like a zipper. Here we're going to have what I would assume is going to monitor his oxygen or the flame, or the however much is left maybe in the canister. I'm not exactly sure. We never really understood what this is. Now, Lenny kind of discussed that they never really knew what these were, so they tried to make them into some sort of like heat dampener. That actually makes a lot of sense. Me fixing copy machines, you look at a main board, there's going to be these heat sinks. The same with like on a computer. They have these heat sinks. So you're going to be protected by this vest, but if you have heat sinks all throughout it and you have that absorb the heat, that would actually make a lot of sense in the world of G.I. Joe. Right up here, we can see the buckles for the straps. You can see how it goes underneath it, so it's not going to move around, which is actually, I think, pretty important. All the way into the back, you have one right there, and then this is going to wrap around. So I'm assuming his whole suit is going to be flame retardant, so he doesn't need to worry about catching on fire. He's got the trigger finger right up here on the forearms, and then on the bicep, everything is sitting right there, and it's the same on both sides. Here we have his belt. The belt buckle actually looks really good. You get two different ones. Here's going to be his holster for his pistol. I hope he doesn't have any issues with the the bullets exploding. Hopefully he doesn't. Nice knee pads here. They look like some pretty good skateboarding knee pads. And the reason why, if anyone is wondering why this is wrapped around like this, okay, why the color is, well, with skateboarding knee pads or any types of knee pads, there's either two straps to go around or you have a sleeve that's going to go over. When you have the sleeve on, there's less chance of them actually going down or moving down. Then you got your shins, the exact same thing, and then it goes all the way down to the boot. So this guy is very, to me, he comes off as very covered, so you don't have to worry about him catching on fire. As for the articulation, we got heads that move back and forth. He can't really look up. He can kind of look down. His neck is different than just the head. Kind of tilt his head just side to side. So not a lot of head movement at all. As for his T-pose, right there, no problem. He's gonna have the bicep swivel, pinless at double joints, and as you can see, I haven't heated this figure up at all. He has an ab crunch that he can go over about that far. He can go back further. Again, with this cut here, it does give you a little bit more range of motion than the original Joe's had, but you're still going to have a problem because there's only so much you can do. He can turn side to side. There is his Jean-Claude Van Damme with some drop-down hips. I feel like the drop-down hips have lessened since the beginning of the line, and I'm perfectly fine with that, as long as they do their job to be able to kind of sit a character in a Jeep if need be. He's going to be hard to fit because there's just so much to him. All right, there's your thigh swivel. Ooh, man, knees are super, well, at least that knee was super, super smooth. Like, no issues at all. There's a ratcheting system. Can't really hear it on that one. On that one. So that was something new that they did a while back. All right. And he does not have, so what he doesn't have is, I'm going to double check because I've been burned before. He doesn't have a boot cut. And his ankles here are just kind of ankle rockers. So anytime that you lose the boot cut, all right, and you don't put them in the ankles, Like I would assume the ankle should turn. They don't. You are going to have some issues when it comes to articulation, or you could. Again, I don't think it's going to be hard to stand, but to get them in certain poses, and I know people say you don't need it, but for certain dynamic poses, you definitely need that to add to it, just to make it a little bit easier. All right, I'll try and move this just a bit. Now let's get into the comparison of the O-ring, and let's just take everything off of them first. All right, we'll take everything off of them, and then I'll compare the accessories along with the figure. Matter of fact, let's look at the accessories really quickly. All right, so here you have his pack here. As you can see, it is in yellow. This has the 3 canisters, although that canister I believe is an oxygen one, where this is actually the liquid that starts the fire. This one here just has 2 little fire, or two cylinders of the liquid that's going to eject the flames out there. All right. Now these are not so much alike. As you can see here, this has something completely different, some sort of mechanism that's actually pushing it through here. They don't have it on here, all right? As for the mask here, this one was all yellow. I mean, it looks similar enough. I have no problem with it, okay? They did put the yellow on it, so it does give you that feel. As for the flamethrower, I guess it's more similar than I actually thought it was going to be. They give you the stock. You got the nice little grip. The color is matched pretty well. And then when you look at the top, you know, they did such a good job even on this, where they kind of showed exactly where the tip is, where the little flame is going to be. So they don't look the exact same, but that's perfectly fine because one is classified and one is not. As for the actual figures, let's get his arms down here because he looks kind of stupid and it's in the way. So, quickly, you look at those head sculpts and let's be honest, I think they nailed that with the classified. He has that push down hair, all right? Again, very clean cut, very similar in color there. Even the facial expression, you can really capture it with this, that it's supposed to be here. Down here, you got the exact same thing. They let it come down there. And then you have this piece where I'm assuming this is where your mask is going to plug into. All right. We got the little holes that no one really knew what it was. Here they put some extra ones, but you still have the band around the arm, and you still have the pieces here on the forearms. He has the pistol, which is always backwards. Never made any sense to me, but it is a green pistol. Rather than put it on his thigh, they put it right up on top here, which I think looks good. And it's running the exact same style belt buckle in many ways. And then it goes all the way down. You still got the little circles here. You got them on the shins here. So I think they did a really good job. Only thing they added was the knee pads that are right here. So if they decide to do a retro version of this, they're going to go much redder here, a much brighter red, a much brighter yellow. Maybe lose the knee pads. I doubt they will, but it'd be nice if they went and lost the knee pads so people don't have to whine and cry about it. And then even on the back here, the vest comes halfway down. So I think that looks really good. What we're going to do is we're going to arm him up once again. Oops. Oh, you know what? I forgot to look at the helmet. Duh. So you have the helmet here, and absolutely not even close. But this here, the straps are meant to go around. You're not going to have to worry about it on this. But I think they did a pretty good job. You know what? I take that back. Look at this. It never dawned on me, but those are actual flashlights right there. Look at that. Those are actual flashlights on the original. And I even did a review on this, didn't even realize it. I did a classic review already and didn't even realize that. So look at that. They did redesign and kind of showed you off exactly what you were going to see. So pretty cool. This is something I didn't notice on the original, and I didn't notice even when I did the classic review. Shocker, right? I missed something. So we're going to plug this in here. There's your blowtorch. That's how the backpack goes on. And when you see, if you're a channel member, you've probably already seen this video. And if you're not, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You'll see it sometime this year. So right here, the problem is the backpack is meant to go this way, but the only way you can actually plug it in here is to go that way. It's the only way you can actually hit it. So we're going to leave it like this just because I'm going to stand him right there. All right, now we're going to arm this guy up really quickly. The pistol is going to slide in right there. This thing will slide right over his head. And it's nice that it's not going to go over the helmet, because let's be honest, that is really the last thing you want to see, especially in a figure this size. You want it to look as close as possible. Look at that. You can see the eyes right through it. You know, they didn't do that on the original eel. When they came back and did the eel, they made a change there. All right, so here's where you're going to check his oxygen. You can see the port right there for it. So we can kind of just plug this in. And it is nice that this is going to be able to move around, because in real life, this thing is probably going to be swaying. So I think you might be able to get some really good pictures with that. Helmet. So this is where you're going to have to do a little bit of work, it seems. All right. So, and if you're still here, and I appreciate it, please hit that like button. And if you're going, why do you continue to go on? I like to show you how difficult or how easy something is going to be while doing this. All right. So there's your blowtorch right there. Helmet looks good. He is almost completely covered. His neck is still showing there. Maybe they should have done something, some sort of turtleneck. But I guess you would also assume he can zip this all the way up, and that's what's going to protect him. We're going to take our backpack, throw this bad boy on there. So you can see that just kind of, well, it's supposed to plug in, but it is not going that well. All right. So it's nice and tight. That's what she said. It's going to go on to the back of this. That one went on nicely. Throw this right on his back. If we can find that. Now, the one thing that this is going to be kind of weird to say, they've had a lot of issues with their backpacks. The way the stem kind of sits out. Sometimes it's too long, or really more than anything, the hole in the back isn't done that well. It's not deep enough. And I'm going to say the exact same thing about this one here. Like, I'm really having a hard time getting... I'm not going to say it. But usually, the one thing that's nice on these overlays... All right, there we go. One thing that's usually nice on these overlays, if they have a backpack, is that they don't sit even. So usually this will move up or down, and it'll actually put tension on this. So it allows it to stay on a little bit better. As a matter of fact, that actually fits really nicely. You just got to line it up pretty good. Now we're going to throw this over here. Very pliable hands. Look how open that hand is. Very pliable. Going to put that finger right in there. And then, that is probably an awful spot. Although I don't think you're really aiming this. I think they only put that there so you can kind of hold it like this. This is something I think I kind of want on the outside. So I have to kind of play around with that a little bit. All right. But when this guy's walking around, can you hold this? Again, these hands are super soft and very pliable, which I think is really good. And look how big that, you can open up his hand real nice. You can actually pose it. Look at that. That backpack is going to be, man, that backpack is going to be a damn struggle. Especially when you're posing it. I'm going to move that thing up all the way. So this is where sticky tack becomes a huge friend of yours. If you are just trying to pose them on shelves and stuff. Man, that thing went in for a second, and now it's like not happening. There we go. So now you can see I completely had to mess up his hands, which is not what I wanted. So here we go. Now what's he going to be lighting on fire? Who knows, considering technically this guy is a war crime these days. You're not allowed to use flamethrowers. But again, easy to pose, no problem there. We look at the two of them, and I think they did a pretty good job classifying them up. So that's where he is, kind of with this one right here, kind of just blowing everything all over. Here we go. When you don't want to have this on here, I'm going to pop this little one right there, because you know what? He's got to be ready to go in a moment's notice. So here we're going to kind of make him just walking along. Like so. So there he is. He's just kind of walking along, getting ready to cause a fire. I mean, who of us is not doing that? So quickly, let's do a quick size comparison. I know you guys love to see that. I can just drop this down super quickly. So here is dial tone, and you can see dial tone seems to be a good amount shorter than him. Here's a Wolverine, who should be tiny compared to him, because Wolverine is a tiny effer like me. Here is our General Hawk, who he seems to be a little bit taller, which is actually kind of shocking. And then here is, man, he seems, let's get the helmet off him. Even without the helmet, he's pretty damn tall. This guy is built on, well, a new buck, but he's still roughly the same size as, Gung Ho and Roadblock. So we're going to pop this off here. I guess he's shorter there. So that's him standing completely straight up. He is a little bit shorter. If I take dial tone, pop off his backpack. Even with his beret on, he's a little bit taller than him. So I like the fact that they're going and not making every character the exact same height, because we in real life are not all the exact same height. But there you go. That is your Blowtorch review. Pretty in-depth. Thank you for sticking around. All right, so there is your Blowtorch. All of his accessories, which I actually do think are pretty nice. They go really well with what he's supposed to have. I know some people won't be happy. Some people will say, hey, he's not red enough. He's not yellow enough. He doesn't have the exact same weapon. This is always going to be a complaint as long as those O-rings exist. And let's be honest, they are starting to dwindle away because those thumbs break and the crotches break, but they're always going to be around, right? But anyway, there's your Blowtorch. He's going to be available at Target. That's actually where I picked him up. No Amazon, no CMD store, no BBTS, no Hasbro Pulse. Directly from Target in store as they're doing their resets right now. But anyway, there you go. If you need to get them, head out there. You guys have spent a lot of time with me. Man, do I appreciate it. But it's time for me to go. It's time for you to go look for this at Target, because you're like, I just watched this review. It was absolutely awesome. This guy is by far the best reviewer. I'm not. So now I need to go find him. But before you do, what I want you to do is please take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classified. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's 2 more there. And I know there's still 1 more in the ether of Target, or maybe coming elsewhere. That's happening too, unfortunately. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes you buy more than 1 figure and you really don't want to. But anyway, there you go. Tell me what you thought. I love to hear it. But before I do, you're like, this guy, he's awesome. I need more classified from him. And you're like, you're damn right. Right up here is going to be another figure that I've reviewed. And down here is going to be a playlist of every classified that's come out so far. I reviewed them all. Take a look at them. Have a wonderful day.